Um, Hello,
Hi.
welcome. My name is Michelle Freddolino. I am the owner of Altitude Ninja, soon to be Altitude Movement. In Colorado Springs, we are a ninja parkour and OCR training facility. And we are in the process of starting to grow and scale our business. So initially, um, few years ago, but when I did this pitch the first time, there was no training facility in our area. And now we're looking to grow from supporting youth, which have been our bread and butter, to adult and more elite trainers. Right now, for those individuals, there are very few places for them to train. Some athletes go out of town to other facilities. Some athletes train in different environments, bringing that cross training back into the sports of ninja, parkour, and obstacle course racing. For example, we've had the pleasure of hosting USA Pentathlon now for 2 events because there are no other facilities to host their ninja discipline. So our solution is to invest in additional equipment that's geared primarily for those adult and more advanced athletes and making their training a priority. We are planning to do that by um, utilizing the hours more efficiently while still maintaining that grassroots programming. So for us to scale, we have to look more broadly at who our customer is. And our customer for these programs would be those adults or advanced athletes over the age of 13 who are really looking to do more with movement, either pursuing competitive ninja, which USA Ninja Association has started up. They had their first World Cup in July of this year. Ninja is also, we'll know within 6 days, being added as the 5th sport in USA Pentathlon, replacing the equestrian, the horse riding event. I was just in Lithuania. One of my coaches, who happens to be my son, is currently the junior national champion, and he represented Team USA at Junior Worlds in pentathlon and setting an unofficial record in the ninja discipline. With respect to parkour, the Federation for Gymnastics, International Federation for Gymnastics, seems to be swallowing parkour under its umbrella, and they hosted earlier this spring in France a World Cup, inviting athletes from all over the globe. And then the same weekend in Belgium, the World Obstacle Federation had their World Cup as well. So we're really looking to take our athletes, which we've been growing from the grassroots, and grow them, and adults who may be interested in moving in this direction or being competitive at the regional, national, and possibly international level. And so with respect to the market opportunity, when we're looking at the total addressable market, that's over $30 million as of 2022. And that's the whole industry of gym, health, and fitness clubs. And so when we're looking at this market, you can see that even post-COVID, the industry continues to grow. When we look just at the United States, there are currently over 100,000 fitness clubs, and it's their revenue at $30 million. When we look at the service addressable market, of course, that number shrinks because we're only looking at gym, health, and fitness clubs in Colorado. That number currently sits around or was at 462 million in revenue. It's expected that for 2023, that number will go up to 713 million, which means just in the Colorado Springs market alone, for all health, gym, and fitness clubs, there's more than tens of millions of dollars in the Colorado Springs region. I threw up these numbers. They are important, looking at Colorado as a whole, but also looking at Colorado Springs, which was at the time of the Chamber of Commerce study, the fifth most physically active large city in the United States. And when you combine all towns and cities, it's the seventh most fit in Colorado. And so that would bring us to the service obtainable market, which I estimate to be around $5 million. We need to, when we're thinking about that number, take out also those facilities that are not supporting the target market. Again, those adults, those weekend warriors who are looking to compete at Spartan and other OCR events, those adults who are looking also to compete in Ninja and or parkour. So with that, the business model and scaling strategy would just be doing what we do well, providing classes for adults and those intermediate and advanced athletes with a membership model where they would pay that monthly fee and have access to the classes. And then there are those pay-per-use events, clinics, specialized clinics, and competitive events to further hone their skills that would just be open to that population. We have found that adults are less inclined to come into the gym when the gym is swarming with 8 to 12-year-olds. So to scale, we have to add additional adult training sessions and grow our adult team. We've been fortunate the last couple of years. We started off with a Ninja team. This past year in 2023, we added a parkour team and an OCR team. So our parkour team is primarily youth, but the OCR team is primarily adults. We had folks competing at the Spartan race in Colorado Springs, as well as the Tough Mudder, which was up in the Denver metro region this past summer. So in terms of where we are and how we're growing, our total active enrollments this time last year was a little less than 500. And currently it sits a little less than 600. So again, that youth programming continues to be primarily our bread and butter. We offer classes for toddlers through adults. Like I mentioned, the competitive teams. We also host events and parties that could be competitions, as well as family gatherings and birthday parties. We also have an open gym opportunity for folks to come in and trial the gym or to train if it's outside of their, if the classes don't fit their schedule. There's an example of various programs. And then as we look forward, the idea is to add, with equipment and marketing and training, about 4 additional programs, but more importantly, to really grow and fill the programs that we have available. So right now we have 2 adults in our adult beginner Ninja class. Our Ninja team has about 5 adults, 16 plus. Our adult beginner parkour happens to be the most popular class at the moment, and that's at 5 adults, and definitely believe we can grow all 3 of those programs. We also have a parkour team, like I mentioned, and then that OCR. OCR seems very cyclical, depending on the competitive race season. And the goal with this grant, as well as with scaling, is to really get all of our coaches trained and certified. Several of them are currently trained and certified, but to get all of them fully certified. And as I brought up USA Pentathlon before, to really grow and hone those relationships with USA Pentathlon Multisport, USA OCR, and USA Ninja. Why altitude movement? What's our unfair advantage? Well, our location when it comes to the Olympic movement. We have several coaches who are trained and certified in OCR, parkour, and ninja. They're also competing, and we have experience hosting some regional and local events. The barriers to other folks entering our market are the equipment, the space, and training. If you're just doing grassroots, it's not nearly as prohibitive, but if you really want to dive in and get more specified and really fill the niche, then you do need to have the right equipment, space, and trained staff. So here's a quick recap of our financial situation. The gray is 2021, the orange is 2022, and the green is 2023. We're beginning to see a historical trend with respect to that financial data. But as presented here, it's definitely all been on the upswing. Breaking even is at about 500 class enrollments. So anything above that is, of course, profit. So we're looking at growing the teams, growing the adult enrollments, additional camps and clinics, as well as our events. So filling the programs and growing the adult and advanced offerings, I predict will have at least an additional 25% growth over the trends that we see here. So in addition to myself, my management team is my director of operations, Miss DeMatteo. She comes to our gym from a gymnastics and dance background, managing and teaching at other facilities. She helped take a facility that was on the brink of closure and grew that facility, and they ended opening a second location before the end of her tenure. She also is trained in physical education and spent time in the high school environment. My event manager, Amethyst, comes to us from one of the little gym facilities up in Denver, and she brings a very kid-friendly persona, as well as experience helping to manage a facility and organize events for folks primarily on that younger end. My head coaches, I have one in ninja, one in parkour, and then another coach who dabbles both in ninja and parkour, have all competed and are certified within their sports. Coach Zeke is actually a parkour certified coach as well. So how we would plan to use the funds, divvied up between equipment, operations, and training. Again, to be that adult location, we would need to have the right equipment. But more importantly, we have to invest in the marketing and program development with a capture of retaining the folks that we have and retaining the folks that we add. But as I've mentioned multiple times, training our staff is almost as important. And this is a great shot of our gym with USA Pentathlon, their ninja event for their national championships this past summer. So thank you. I know this is really rough and abbreviated. Again, my name is Michelle Freddolino. I'm the owner and managing member of Altitude Movement. I can be reached by cell at that 719-237-5793 number, or via the gym. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Perfect. Thank you. I let you run longer since there's no judges for the Q&A portion.
Okay, well, I need to run because there's like nobody standing in front of our gate, and